Fraud is on the rise, and here to tell us how to protect your bank and brokerage accounts is Ray Martin. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
It's great to be here, Amy. Good to see you.
So credit cards are one thing, but if crooks get into your bank account or your brokerage account, they can get real money.
Yeah, this is a new kind of fraud. Now, we know about how credit card and identity theft can work. This fraud is where the bad guy takes money from your bank or brokerage account or from your advisor, and this special kind of fraud is on the rise. In fact, the reports are that there's been a 5-fold increase over the last 2 years on this kind of fraud. You want to hear about how this works.
Yeah, okay. Tell us how it works. What are the steps?
There are several steps to this fraud. First, you, the client, the victim, you're using your computer in a hotspot. Well, you're using one of those unauthorized or unsecured hotspots that looks like a duplicate of maybe a secure hotspot you might use on a train or an airport. Well, this is an unsecured hotspot put up by a bad guy. You hop on, you get some emails done, you tell your financial advisor to take care of some things in your accounts for you, and you close up your laptop and you go on your way. The bad guy here has been looking at your computer, and they hack into your email account from that hotspot. Now they have a trove of all the emails that you've sent in the past between you, your financial advisor, your bank, personal emails, whatever. They hack into that. They get information about your bank accounts, your password, your ID. They might not have your password. They might have the ID of your bank account, like such as using an email address here. They'll have copies or PDF copies of documents that you've signed that have a picture of your signature on it. They next send an email to your financial advisor, your bank or brokerage firm, and says, hey, I'm traveling. I need you to wire some money to this bank account. Here's the routing information. Here's the information, the dollar amount. Send $25,000. I'm traveling. I need it for a purchase, whatever. Please do it right away. Your financial advisor gets this email. It looks legitimate. It's from you. It's your email address. They even have a copy of your signature photoshopped into a document. So they wire the money. You find out the money's out of your account. You call your advisor and say, what'd you do here? And the advisor says, well, you sent me an email. That's how the fraud works.
So what can people do to protect themselves from this happening?
There are basically 3 things to do here. First, don't use an unsecured hotspot for email or sensitive emails about financial transactions, a wire transfer, a mortgage closing for real estate, and don't transmit any documents where you've signed. When you're using an unsecured hotspot here, only do this from your home email account, home computer on a server. Second, call your bank, financial institution, brokerage firm, or your investment advisor and say, if I sent you an email for a wire transfer, would you perform it? If their answer is, well, I think so, if it looked legitimate, you got to say stop right there. They have to ask for several points of validation, not just an email. They should have a phone call with you, requiring to speak with you about the email, about the wire transfer, what the use of the money is, and they got to know your voice here. And of course, they're going to have to request a signed document that's signed right then and there, not just something they've used over and over again. It sounds like an inconvenience, but you should really have that security in place. And lastly, don't use your email as your ID for financial accounts, as your logon ID, not necessarily your password, but your ID. Use something completely different as an ID, not your email address, because your email address, again, can be hacked into if you're using unsecured hotspots, and people can try to fish around to get into your accounts that way.
And there's one more point I wanted to clarify. So if people have a stockbroker, a financial planner, a financial advisor like yourself, can they routinely do things even if it's legit like this?
Yeah, that's a great question there. Some financial advisors have limited access to your accounts, so they cannot perform a transfer from your account to a third-party account. They might be able to perform transfers between your accounts that are titled in your name that you own if you have several accounts like that, but not to a third-party account. Some advisors, on the other hand, have full discretion, and they can transfer money from your account to any third party that you tell them to. If your advisor has that kind of discretion, you need these safeguards in place, because that's how this fraud is occurring. And you need to really be careful and maybe even rethink if you need to give your advisor that kind of control over your accounts. Maybe you should limit it.